Working with Matthew Bourne, he's always going to make an amazing show, so you
Keep going.
never, ever, ever doubt him.
And consider yourselves welcome to this What's on Stage opening night video for Oliver. Cameron Mackintosh and Matthew Bourne's critically acclaimed Chichester production has now transferred to London's glittering West End. And here's what the pair, as well as some of their principal cast members, have to say about the revival. And I'll be back soon.
I always say that fate is the greatest producer of all. The fact is, Matthew and I were going to redo it. If COVID hadn't happened, we were going to do it straight after Mary Poppins at the Prince Edward, and then we couldn't do it. And in the interim, we kept thinking that actually what we wanted to do is go back to the show's roots, because most people only know the huge production I did first 30 years ago with Matthew and Sam Mendes at the Palladium, which starred Jonathan Pryce. And then I did it again, an even bigger production with Rowan Atkinson and a cast of nearly 100. But actually, that's not what Lionel Bart wrote. He wrote an incredible musical play to be put on in a small theatre like this. In fact, this theatre, the Gielgud, has 100 seats more than the original theatre, which is now called the Coward. It was originally called the New, which is where I saw it when I was 13. And I sat in the gallery 3 months after it opened and was blown away.
Well, the brilliant thing about working with Cameron on the show is that he is the rights holder of Oliver completely. So we were able to actually look at the structure of the show and rethink it, and I had the rights holder there to do it with. So normally that would be very difficult to do. So we've been able to rethink some things, add a new scene, reorder scenes. I mean, people who don't know the show intimately probably wouldn't know, but it's been brilliant to have that collaboration.
So this, for all of us and everyone, and the brilliant designs by Les Brotherton, who designed the set, and Paulie Constable, who did the lighting, we all went back as a homage to the original show that inspired us and actually changed theatre, and particularly musical theatre, around the world with a brilliant original design. So we wanted modern audiences to experience what it's like to see a piece of this stature done in an intimate theatre, because I think it will remain with them for the rest of their lives, as it did with me, and changed my life.
Well, it's interesting that people who saw the show in Chichester, some of them were here tonight, and you can see how different it is. Other people just seeing the show for the first time here won't know, but it is extremely different. They're very different size of space, but we have lots of new things here that we didn't have in Chichester as well. So it's like doing a new show, I think.
Yeah. So many new things.
We got this job a year ago. Last December, we were at judges' houses, at Cameron's judges' houses, and we were in this weird sort of pairing up situation. And when the three of us got in the room, Shanay, myself, and Aaron, there was this chemistry that hit, that felt new and exciting. And it's been a year, and tonight we got to show it to people.
I mean, it's been my dream role for a long time. I think Gavroche and this were my dreams when I was little. I always said to my mum, imagine me playing Oliver, and being here is honestly a dream come true.
I think what I bring to Nancy is integrity and truth and honesty as much as I can deliver it, and I really have fought to make her truthful and as heartbreaking as it is to watch her story, as joyous as possible, but really to create a really deep character. I really wanted people to come and see her and see this version of her, and really relate to her in 2025, not to a kind of caricature of her, but someone that all women now can relate to, and hopefully I've achieved that. Yeah.
And holy moly, she's done that.
It's quite a big journey for me. I've played Dodger for quite a while now. He's kind of like, he's such a special part to me. It's,
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
That's when he started.
First time.
I saw him in the East End.
Yeah.
In a drama. What was the
It
drama
was
school?
BTA. That's what they called.
BTA, and I was looking for some kids to take to America for a huge big thing we did in, what was was it Atlanta?
Atlanta. It was
Atlanta.
JTF.
That's it.
Yeah. It
was amazing. And I was looking for a comment, and I saw him, and he went, and I went, the audience, don't worry about the audience. It is 7,000, an auditorium with 7,000 people.
Yeah.
And he was leading a cast of 250. So I was never worried about him playing the Artful Dodger. He took to it.
Yeah, and then, it was a funny story. So Cameron saw me, and then I did Les Mis. He put me in Les Mis. But we always had the idea, of doing Oliver. And then COVID hit and everything, and it kind of went underneath. And then I ended up doing it on screen for the BBC, doing a series. And then, from there, and then Cameron, saw me, and then we just...
Thank God, in the nick of time before he was playing Bill Sykes.
Yeah.
I was able to get him to do it. But he'll end up playing Fagin as well.
It was great. It's a fantastic opportunity to play him in the West End as well. It kind of really is the final touch for me, 100%.
I think we all try to find, but there's been lots of versions of this show, right? And I think people have a preconception of these characters in so many ways, whether that be with the book, a film, a different adaptation of it on screen. And so you have this duty to serve what is in people's hearts whilst making it your own. So especially with someone like Fagin, there's a lot of stuff that goes with him. And I knew I wanted to make him funny and charming, but not just because I wanted to make him funny, because he had to be funny as a device to get through life. And not just make him a guy that has got a crime ring of children. He wanted to create family for children. And so putting that heart is, I think, what we've tried to do. Like how Shanay and Aaron have found this beauty where you actually get to see that Bill and Nancy love each other for once, rather than just seeing them in this weird kind of relationship that maybe you've seen before. So, and Matthew and Cameron, and they've helped us every step of the way try and redefine these characters in a very different production that's never been seen before, with different takes on these characters, and hopefully we've done them and everyone watching proud.
Yeah.
I recall he started small, he had to pick a pocket or two.
It's often daunting to think a week before you go on that you are going to go on, and you sometimes think, I don't know what I'm doing, are we going to have an amazing reaction? And then you get out there and they absolutely adore it. It's so fun, and I think always be true to the show because it is amazing.
For me, it's got to be up there for my favourite musical ever. I love Les Mis, Oliver Twist and Phantom, but I just love, Oliver Twist was probably the first musical I ever saw when I was like 7, I think, or 6, and I just fell in love with it. I mean, everyone knows the songs. I mean, it's so iconic.
I'm often asked, what is the success of what's the reason for the success of a musical? It's always the book that it's based on, and both Les Mis, which is written by Victor Hugo, and Dickens wrote Oliver Twist, and Oliver Twist has always been one of the greatest stories ever to come out of English literature. And it's interesting that both of these shows now are side by side on Shaftesbury Avenue. And Les Mis would never have been written had Alain Boublil and Claude Michel not come to see my first production of Oliver at the new theatre, what is now the Coward Theatre, in 1977, when they heard the Artful Dodger singing Consider Yourself. Gavroche popped into their head, and by the end of the performance, they went, we've got the subject of our new musical. So they're absolutely intertwined, and also those two novelists were the two of the greatest social writers of all time. And that's why these two musicals lived side by side and have lasted forever, because they're timeless.
Oliver is now officially open at the Gielgud Theatre here in London. As always, you can leave your thoughts about the show in the comments section down below. But please, for the love of just one more bowl of gruel, keep it kind. Give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll see you next time for What's on Stage.
There's this amazing thing, that gag that Simon does with the kids, with the penny. And we used to have one kid called Cooper, who I love. And this penny would go into the pit. It would go into his shoe one day.
Cooper had larger feet than the other children, and the penny would always hit his shoe and then just slowly roll off the edge of the stage constantly into the pit, meaning that one time, and I can't lie, I really got told off by the chaperones for this, I dangled a 10-year-old boy over a 15-foot pit to get this penny back. But, you know, that's Fagin.